Join us now for the City of Dillon Council meeting, brought to you by Hometown TV, serving Dillon and Marion counties.
Short prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for the opportunity to come here and humbly serve the people of Dillon. We pray for a heart of Jesus. We pray for discernment that only comes through your Holy Spirit. Guide us and direct us tonight as we make decisions about our budget, about the future of our city, about our employees. Bless everyone in this room and bless the council members and the staff. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Make a motion. I do have a correction under new business ordinance number 20-09. It says general fund budget. That should say 2021 combined city budget.
Combined city budget.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Motion voted, second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, can we get approval of the minutes? And we'll do the regular meeting of May 11th, the budget shop meeting June 1st, and the budget shop meeting of June 4th.
I'll make a motion.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We're going to have kind of a long meeting tonight. I don't have a lot. I'll commend the council on just very good budget workshop meetings, and commend Janet and Glenn and all the department heads for helping us come in with a balanced budget. That is something that not many governments do. Let me also say that in a time where we're not looking at police force and budgeting them, we are probably going to increase our budget so that we can maintain our police with cars that are no greater than 7 years old. This is something that we've been working on. A part of it's in essence a depreciation fund. We'll have to replace. We have 28 cars. If we did them for every 7 years, then that's 28, have 28 cars, 4 years a year, 4 cars a year, so 4 times 45 to $180,000. And we haven't totally funded that, but we're working towards that. I'm proud of the way we handled it. I think everyone had a good attitude about what we were doing, and it's good conservative. It's a good conservative budget. I think that it gives us an opportunity to possibly have some accumulation in our water and sewage reserve funds that are going to be needed in the not too distant future as we look to match grants and loans to expand our sewage treatment plant that we ultimately are going to have to do. I want to make one change in the minutes. Last time I said that it was 10% of the population and it was 7 million people. It said 10 million people. I don't want someone to go to the history book and say Dr. Wallace doesn't know what he's saying. But it was 7 million people. 10% of people died of starvation in the Great Depression. I'm hoping that as we go back to work, our city and the country will not suffer another spike. It is encouraging that we have opened up. And I talked with ICU nurse from McLeod, and for the last probably 6 weeks, they've had an average of 20 people in the ICU there, and this week they had only 6. So, you know, maybe we're over the worst of it. And that's all I have. Smith, can you give us a synopsis of the audit report?
Thank you, sir. Everybody should have got a report in their package for tonight. This is your June 30, 2019 audit financial statements. There's an unqualified opinion, same opinion you've had for years, which means clean with no exceptions. There's also what we call an internal control gas report, which is also the same opinion that you've had for many years now. Jumping into some numbers, on page 17 of your, which shows your governmental funds, the general fund is one column, the balance sheet. Cash and investments decreased about $378,000, but your total assets also decreased about $32,000, leaving you with an unassigned fund balance of a little over $2.5 million, which is approximately 158 days of your FY19 budget, which is 5.2 months, which is, I'd say, above average for most small, governmental entities. This gets you through the peaks and valleys of your revenues, because revenues don't come in equally throughout the year. Your property tax is one spike, and your business license is a second spike. And Janet is probably cash poor right now because those business licenses are just now coming in quickly. Hopefully before the end of June. Page 19 and page 20, which is your income statement for governmental funds. A couple of highlights. The overall excess for the year in the general fund was right at $20,000. Your budget to actual for a general fund standpoint is back on page 52. Some highlights from there. Revenues were over budget by a little over $500,000. All were over except property taxes and the wellness center. Expenses were also over budget, $582,000, with all departments over budget, but court, public works.
That's in revenues?
These are expenses.
Okay.
But court, public works, wellness center, and beautification were under budget slightly. Capital outlay also shows an over budget of $165,000. You borrowed $145 of that for the police cars during this period. Did leave you with the excess that I mentioned of $20,000. Any general fund questions? I'm going to jump to water and sewer if not. Water and sewer on page 22. Cash and investments increased $307,000. Total assets up $566,000. Your liabilities were up $261,000. Revenues increased. I'm on page 23. Revenues increased about $29,000. Your operating expenses increased $286,000. You did have $570,000 in grants during this period of time, which left you with a change in net position or net income of $223,000 for this year.
And that was reflected. Where do you accumulate that?
The income statement on page 23.
What fund do you accumulate that in?
Water and sewer.
I know this, you've got restricted funds, unrestricted funds, you got, what?
That's probably just in cash. I would
Okay.
Most of those restrictions are done during the year unless council says, put aside X number of dollars. Which again, that goes back to cash flow and can you afford it? When can you afford it? A couple of highlights in the notes. Your fixed assets are on page 37. Which shows your total investment in general fund for governmental activities of 12.8 million at year end, in water and sewer of $54 million rounded.
$54 million is if it were brand new.
That's what you paid for when you put it in service. You couldn't buy it for that now, I'm sure.
Right. We couldn't buy it for that.
Probably couldn't buy it for, who knows, twice. You could double it, and who knows if you could get there. I mean, especially with your infrastructure and things, what kind of prices, how those prices have increased over the years. And the other item I wanted to highlight was on page 39, which is your long-term debt for governmental activities is up top. Community center, the Vector truck, and the police vehicles are all reflected there. They did go down during the year due to the payments. And then the water and sewer section is at the bottom. And you were still drawing money on the water tank during the year, so that actually, the net actually went up during the year of $122,000.
So our total debt, or debt obligation is how much?
With the compensated absences, general fund or governmental activities is 1.9 million,
Okay.
and then water and sewers only 716.
As a percent of budget, is that a reasonable amount? I mean, that would be total, is that total? That's water sewage,
For $2 million in general fund, a little over 700,000.
That's a hard one to compare. I mean, you take this out of the equation, and you've got a Vector truck and police cars. So it's not one that you can say you can compare to
got a hard asset.
by towns.
Those
Yeah.
aren't hard assets.
Right. Those are my quick highlights. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right.
Have several items, just recapping some information that we discussed here the last week, basically the last month. As you mentioned, budget workshops, I was very pleased with the council's input. I think we had a total of almost 4 hours of input over those 2 nights along with the department heads. Tonight will be the first reading. The second reading is scheduled for June 29th at 7 p.m. And I've got that scheduled for City County Complex, unless y'all want to change that, we can do it here. In that budget, as you all know, I did include 2 meal tax increase. However, there were no rate fee increases in sanitation, water, sewer, or in stormwater. We've got capital projects in the general fund that includes 2 police cars, a mower, bush hog, pickup truck in the fire department, and $1,200 salary increase for all full-time employees. In water and sewer, we've got 2 vehicles, a tractor, and an 8-inch bypass pump, along with $1,200 salary increase for full-time employees. Next item, which is an item on our agenda that you'll vote on, is an application for the CDBG grant for improvements of 2 lift stations. One of those lift stations is located in the Madison Street area, the west side of town. That serves the apartment complex and some residents in that area. And then the other lift station is located in the Newtown area. We're in the process right now of doing surveys, knocking on doors, getting information for LMI purposes to qualify for the CDBG grant. If we're awarded the grant, the grant's worth $750,000. The city matches 10%, which is $75,000. So the project we would want to have be roughly $850,000.
Now, where would we get, since that's out of the budget, where would we get?
Well, that'd be over a 2 to 3 year period. Is what that would happen. Martin Luther King Boulevard, we've got a CDBG project going on as we speak. They're about 50% finished with that project. That is where we're including some street lighting, sidewalk, and storm drainage. And that is from that same area of Madison Street back toward Bradford Boulevard. I think it ends around Rose's entrance. They should be completed here in the next three or 4 months, pending weather. Downtown master plan, if you remember, we hired a consulting firm, Benchmark Planning. I think they came before council in January or February, if time frame is correct. I met with them today by video conference. They're on schedule. They're working on some items to present to council and to the committee. And if everything goes well, they'll present that in August at our regular August meeting. They have some ideas about where possibly a farmer's market could be located, possible ideas about parking, landscaping, things of that nature as well. So that will be brought to you folks in August as a draft, and then kind of go from there. Police Department has applied for several grants here in the last month. One is for laptops and patrol cars, possible additional police car, and a drone. Those monies hopefully those will be approved here in the next 30 to 45 days. That's been submitted, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the deadline for that submission is next week?
Yes.
So those have been submitted. Hopefully we'll get something. And backing up with that, Councilman Elder, we were speaking last week in the meeting, the Heroes Act has not been passed by the Senate yet.
Well, it's been approved to, I'd have to,
I looked today.
but Myrtle Beach and the county,
I think that
has been approved for.
Yeah, if it passes, yeah. But at this time, the Senate hasn't met on that. But we won't keep our eye open for those, because there's gonna be a lot of money there. And then I sent out today, requests for proposals were sent to engineering firms to be completed by July 9th for design, administering observation for the Hillside Drive lift station improvements that we've applied for through the SRF loan. This is the loan that I was telling you about last week. It's at 1% up to $1 million if needed over 20 years. And the reason we have to do this request for qualification, this is money that was given by the federal government, so we got to follow the federal government procurement policy. So we sent out 5 or 6 different engineering firms throughout South Carolina to see if they would be interested in providing proposals, and then I'll come up with a committee to go over their backgrounds and things of that nature and bring it back to council to see what you would like to do with those. That's all I have.
Jan?
Yeah, let me give you this. His version left off on the these are the sheets that's usually on the front of your budget report. Yeah, just if you'll pass it down.
Pass them down.
Oh, I see. Hence the confusion.
Yeah, I apologize. Change the location kind of messed us up with that.
All right, you have two.
I got 3 now.
All right, you need to get three.
You should have 1, 2, 3, 4.
Which one again?
That is,
Here's the 4. That'll make the 4 cost more tax. Pass them all, man.
There you go.
okay.
Is that mine?
Which one you got? That one you got for that.
So y'all have,
So I got.
I got all 3.
Yeah, 2 more. Should have 3 yellow pages and a white page.
three yellows and a white. You got 3 yellows and a white. All right, what do you?
What you got?
He's got general. He needs water and sewage.
That's the only one you got? What you missing?
I'm so good, Doug's.
Water,
How about you, Tim? You good? All right. Again, apologize for that.
I'm gonna start with general fund. Our total cash in general fund is $995,935. We spent revenue for $234,087 less in 2020 than in 2019. And that is due to business licenses late coming in. They're coming in now. And court fines, that takes up that $234,000. In the expenses, we spent $340,985 more in 19 than we did in 2020. And that's due to a lot of repairs, street sweeper, and some capital purchases in 19. Water and sewer, our total non-restricted account is $1,606,466. Our restricted cash is $1,956,303. Total restricted and non-restricted is $3,562,769. Our revenues, we brought in $174,049 more in 2020 than we did in 2019. And then we spent more, $240,411 more in 2020 than we did in 2019. That's due to a lot of pump repairs, the water and sewer, so.
Kind of, those were unanticipated.
That's
Kind of
correct.
budget.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And then at the golf course, our year-to-date, our revenue was, or our, excuse me, let me back up, our cash account's $14,154. We brought in $15,844 more in 2020 than we did in 2019. Our expenses, we spent $5,479 more in 2020 than 2019, and that was due to some pump repairs out there. 2% hospitality. Our, I got to go back over and look at that cash account. I don't think I changed that. Anyway, I'll look back over that. Our revenues was down $9,954 in 2020 versus 2019. And we've got 5 payments left on the wellness center, which is $239,474. And we transferred $120,000 year-to-date to the golf course.
Now, that's 2%.
Okay, good.
Is that's actually through April, correct?
Yeah, take that off, because I need to change.
No, I'm not asking that.
What?
The total revenue that you got listed for May 31st, 20, $540,000. That is actually what we collected through April.
Yeah, and for April, collected in May.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, due to the COVID-19, we're only down less than $10,000 for restaurants. So we had several that did close. We've had some that stayed open that have done pretty good as well.
Yeah. As far as the wellness center, I see that you got a remaining balance of $18,670. Why didn't you take the whole balance
Where you from?
when you transferred it to the general fund?
That's all, you can only transfer the expenses versus revenue. You come at 154,
Right.
right, you can only take the difference in what you, spent and brought in.
So what about the 18,000 that's remaining? It's just gonna stay in the,
Right, you don't take it out because you didn't spend it.
Is that all? Thank you, Jim. All right, citizens report. Anybody like to speak? Richard Calhoun.
Yes. Phil, begin with, I'd like to commend the council on getting a clean, unqualified audit report. It's pretty impressive. I was in the banking business for 37 years, and it sounds like y'all have done a real good job. Also, I wanted to come to thank the council for supporting the golf course. As a member of the course, I'd just like to impress on y'all that I think at this point in time, it is very good to have the course available, especially from a economic development area with what's going on in our city and in our county. We've probably got more interest now in development than we've had in many, many, many years, as we all know. So I just wanted to thank the council for its previous support. I also wanted to state that I feel like if you don't go out and see who uses the course, you don't realize that it's used by a lot of people. The facility is used a lot by industries and commercial businesses around town. It's also used by our schools, our Lakeview School and our schools here in Dillon use it as a practice facility and in their sports programs. So I just wanted to thank you for your previous commitment there, and I see it's on the budget tonight to approve again, so just wanted to commend you for that and ask for continued support. Thank you.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'll be brief. I kind of come up here tonight in a little different capacity. I've been to several of the council meetings lately as a representative of my employer, First Bank, but obviously I'm here tonight, obviously, to kind of piggyback on what he said, talk about the golf course a little bit. I obviously am on the board at Twin Lakes, so I'm privy to some of the information and some of the conversations that goes on out there. I was at a meeting probably, I guess, November, December, at a city council meeting, and there was a concerned citizen that expressed some, I guess, frustrations with things that were going on as far as the golf course and the city's continued funding of it, and I guess the county's participation in that as well. And several other people spoke up, and I was a little caught off guard that night because I wasn't there for that, obviously. And I walked away a little embarrassed and a little frustrated that I didn't stand up and say something that night. But obviously with this on the agenda tonight, I felt like it was an appropriate time to come and just throw a little bit behind the golf course's backing. You know, when that citizen expressed his frustration that night and the other citizens spoke up, one of the things that I was, very, I guess, inquisitive about was how much time those people would actually spend out at Twin Lakes. And Mr. Calhoun spoke a few minutes ago about the good things that go on at the golf course. You know, the facilities out there. I can tell you, for example, our bank has several functions out there a year. We had a conference out there in December. I know First Citizens uses that facility as well. Purdue has been a frequent renter of the ballroom. All this, of course, is pre-COVID, but Purdue was a big renter of that facility. We have weddings out there. So it serves a lot of purposes. And I go back to where else is there in Dillon County for us to have a venue to house these events? I'd ask you as the council is there another venue that could do that? And I think it serves so many good purposes. And, you know, with regards to the golf course, whether you play golf or not, I talk to people all the time. If you would come out there and just see, I guess, the socioeconomic diversity that exists out there and our group of golfers, it's amazing. I mean, it is far from a white-collar golf course. We have just the diversity and the people out there that play golf with our groups and that go out there on the weekends, and I'm sure during the weeks. It is not what you think. And so I'm very proud to be a member out there. And in regards to being a board member, we obviously, the folks on the board, we understand our struggles. You know, we have a meeting every month and we look at the balance sheets and the P&Ls and we understand the challenges there. So I'm not sitting up here telling you tonight that it's a perfect picture, but I'm telling you that the pros far outweigh the cons, and that you on the city council and members of the county council as well, you have a heavy responsibility going forward with the opportunity that's been afforded to you by this port that is coming into Dillon County. When people at different industries form committees and they're looking at opportunities as far as relocating to Dillon, they're obviously looking for amenities. And whether you like it or not, an amenity is a golf course and a facility like the golf course that we have out there. And for us to sit here and entertain a possibility of taking that away, I think it's looking more at the present instead of looking towards the future. And if we don't look towards the future in Dillon, in the city, and in the county, we can never grow. And so I'd ask everyone to just understand, or at least think about it not as it is and more about as it should be. And we have challenges, but we need to continue to work towards those goals that we want it to do. Obviously, we want the city to grow, we want the county to grow. And again, I thank you for the council's support in the past for continuing the lease 2 years ago. And I ask for your continued support going forward, because it's certainly a facility that I think all of us here in Dillon really need for the growth of our city and county going forward. So thank you again.
Anyone else? Okay. Old business. We don't have any old business. All right, new business. Ordinance number 20-09, and that is 2021 combined city budget. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Resolution number 0220, a CDB grant application. Can I get a motion? Second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Nay. Resolution number 0320, SCPEDA insurance plans for retirees. Now, can you give us a little background on that?
Yeah, this is beginning July 1st. We fall under the South Carolina Public Employment Benefit Administration, better known as PEBA. Under that, anyone who has worked for the city for 5 or more years and retired is eligible to come on to that insurance under our umbrella, but at their 100% cost. This also allows, and these are following guidelines by FEMA, anyone who is serving on city council for 12 or more years, once they either retire or leave their city, they are eligible to stay on the retirement system just as a retiree would be. And that cost would be at this point in time 100% of their cost, not the city's, once they leave council and had served 12 consecutive years. And the third portion of it is it allows the city to continue to pay 100% benefits of all city council members as of today.
Any questions, discussion? Can I get a motion?
I make a motion.
Okay, second?
I second.
All those in favor? Opposed? All right, and lease agreement, Twin Lakes Country Club, golf course, Twin Lakes Golf Course, 2-year, this is a 2-year lease, and I believe it is the same lease that we had for the last 5 years.
Nothing's changed from day one. The agreement is for an additional 2 years, which would end June 30th, 2022. The rent is still going to be $2,500 a month during this term of this extension, so nothing really changed based on the last.
Is this open for discussion, Dr. Wallace?
We'll get a motion and then we'll go to discussion and then we'll vote. Get a motion?
I make a motion.
Second?
I second it.
Well, we got it. Can't
Well,
get it.
now we got a discussion. Go ahead, we got a motion and a second, now you have a discussion.
Well, what I'd like to do is I'd like to make a motion to,
Motion's off the floor, well,
give me a second, Dr. Wallace.
okay.
To table the lease agreement until we have our workshop on June the 29th, due to the fact that some citizens are not able to make it to the meeting tonight due to some conflicts they contacted me. And it also gives them an opportunity because they just now seen it on the agenda. We just got it put on the agenda Thursday. And it gives them ample time to be able to come up here and talk to the council and give their opinion on how they feel about the golf course, just like your members have come up here and expressed their feelings. So I'd like to make a motion that we table it till June 29th to the workshop meeting and see if I can get a second.
Do I hear a second? Motion fails.
Okay, so going forward, a couple of questions for you, Glenn. How many members are at the golf course? Y'all got the answers? Y'all hear good too?
That answer right at the moment. I can't give you that answer.
Do you, Mr. Calhoun, do you have the answer for that?
Matt,
Matt?
in about 60.
It varies month to month.
Well, and there's 2 types of membership too. I think there's, well, no, it's just the golf membership.
We have corporate membership, which would be these folks that are members of what I call the restaurant poolside. They pay them, and then that board in turn pays the city. Was it $32, Richard?
Yeah.
$32 a month they pay the city.
$32.50.
$32.50, and then those that are not members on that side, who are members just on our side, I think it's $40 a month, but total numbers, I can't tell you exactly.
I think there's about 64 on our, what I would say without what the city does independently of what we do, which is probably, I would think, maybe as many, but I'm not sure of that.
Golf course members that we're gonna go with 64? Is that what we're gonna go with?
No, I don't know.
60?
You're talking about
I want the record to reflect that I'm not against the golf course. I'm just against the city of Dillon being involved in the golf course and losing the money we've lost due to the fact that our children don't have anything. And we've taken this money from the county, your county taxpayers just like we are, and They have given $350,000 over a course of 7 years to the golf course. And we've taken out of our hospitality fund about $1.2 million, and we've done nothing for the kids, okay? Nothing. We haven't enhanced our parks.
Well, I know that they did sponsor a youth activity out there for
That's
a
fine,
tea,
Mr.
and
Calhoun.
had lots of kids come out.
I don't know what you got out there, but I'm just telling you
But that's
the
what I'm saying,
facts.
but you don't know.
Mr.
Come
Calhoun,
see.
I'm not here to argue with you, sir,
Okay.
okay? I just want the record to reflect, I'm not against the golf course, I'm just against the money that we throw in the golf course for 60 some odd members and relatively a handful of people that play out there, okay? In my district, which I have the biggest park, we have done no upgrades except $25,000. And of course, I've been on 11 years on council. And I know other council members have got dilapidated parks that need a lot of upgrades done to them, that we could be taking this money and be upgrading the parks. So that's where I stand on it, as far as that. Now, also, this is a cost that you don't know, but I will share it to the people because they've elected me to be transparent and tell them what's going on. I asked for a ledger last week that is hidden cost that's not even showing on the record of the golf course, okay? We're paying $875 a month for a sign that's in Florence County, 30 miles away from your golf course. We paid $75,000 over 7 years. That's ridiculous in my eyes, okay? And I've had to go ask for this, I call it hidden cost. Advertising, I don't roughly know how much we've been spending in advertising. That cost is not even showing up on this either. But the bottom line is, I'm here to be transparent and let the people know how much money we've lost or spent that could have went to upgrade our old town. Look how our old town looks. We got 30 empty upfront stores right now. But I could go on and on. I'm not here to tell you that I'm all for the golfing. I just want the city of Dillon to come out of funding the golf course. And with the money we spent out there, it's a good cause for me to say what's going on with it. No disrespect to Matt, Mr. Calhoun, Mr. Hewitt, and Mr. Bethea. That's just where I stand, and that's how I feel.
I think it's a beneficial cost for the citizens. If you're keeping people in the town playing golf, then they're going to your restaurants and spending money eating and those kind of places. Just for me, example, and I know that. But if I went to Florence and played golf, then I'm going to eat over in Florence. And I'm going to come back home and I'm going to sleep. And I'm not going to spend the money I'm Dillon that I spend when I finish playing golf. So I think there's, and that's just a small thing. I think there's some costs there, some benefits there we get that you're not realizing is what it sounds like.
Well, I mean, like I said, no disrespect to any of y'all. I just feel like the kids are missing out. We need to be taking more money and putting it towards our complex and doing more things to help our kids. And, go ahead, I'm sorry, what's that?
The athletic facility, the youth golfers for all of the entire county goes out there to play in matches, is that correct? Which also brings parents and it's small amount, I'm not saying it's a great amount, but it brings people from out of town to see to spend more, to spend with. There's small things that we get that we gain that probably not thought about.
Also, too, a lot of tournaments we have out there, bringing a lot of outside play from out of area. And benefit a lot from that because some of them wind up joining with an out of area member, which is a good thing for us.
There's a lot of people that are playing golf that aren't members, and they come out there every weekend. I'm not sure what the economics of that is, but.
Probably more than members play.
Right, a lot of people.
But I just want the record to reflect why I stand the way I do. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not against the golf course, to no avail. I just don't think the city should be involved in losing so much money toward the golf course. and you mentioned the charities. I want to know on the A-tax, we cut a check for $5,000 to United Methodist Church. Why did we cut a check for $5,000 to United Methodist Church every year for the last 3 or 4 years?
Golf tournament they hold.
What now?
The golf tournament they hold.
So
Originally it was through.
Well, let me clear that up. That is my salary.
Huh?
I donate my salary to the Methodist Church for the golf tournament.
You donate your salary.
Yeah. That's where that money comes from.
I don't understand that one.
I don't take a salary and they write a check to the church for, this year it's the Helping Hands.
Mm-hmm.
I donate my salary, so the city writes the check for my part of the salary. Now, they donate some too, but the city writes a check to the Methodist Church, and the Methodist Church gives it to Helping Hands.
Well, why don't we cut the Methodist Church out and write the check directly to the Red Cross?
I'm the one that decides that,
How's that?
because it's my check. It's my pay.
Well, we're paying you $8,000 for the city employees to get their physicals and all that through your office. You're getting paid there, aren't you?
Well, I do a service.
You do a service. Okay. Yeah, all the wellness checks and everything come to the city.
If you don't want that, and I know you're trying to.
No, I'm just trying, you're trying to throw off on me, and I'm just trying to tell you it's not right the way we're doing it.
I'm explaining to you where that $5,000 comes from.
Well, if that's the case, then we should get a new bid in to bid to where all medical facilities can have opportunity to do what Dr. Wallace is doing.
That's fine, do it.
But let's do that. Let's put it on the next agenda.
But I will say, Mr. Elmer, that there is another facility that does some of this other, checkups too.
Well, I'm just saying, let's put the bid out here. Let's do it the right way. Even the workman's comp. Let's do the workman's comp the
But
right
I
way
want to
too.
clear up something about the original thing that you wanted to talk about.
What's that?
And that was the $5,000 that they write to the Methodist Church. You understand where that comes from now?
And I'm getting a salary of $3,600, so that's $1,400 more dollars.
Well, they're given, wait a minute, never mind. I'm not even gonna go there.
Well,
You go.
go wherever you want to go with.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Motion and second. Can I get a vote? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Well, could I say something?
Motion passes. Yes. I'm sorry.
Just over that. I looked at all these numbers before, and I know the true in any community, you have all these basic recreational services in all different areas from every age group. But if you look at the numbers, and I've said this before publicly, that the golf course pays at least half as well. And I don't think you can speak to that in any other basic service that we offer our community. And it is a quality of life. If you don't have any of this, you have nothing. I mean, what plant or anything in the city of Dillon, in this county is gonna come here if someone doesn't offer this? Now, I know it's in our lap, but I think it is a very positive service. And if you look at the golf course funding, it tells you, and I appreciate you, Janet, doing that. And I guess Glenn. Well, Glenn gave us this, and I was really impressed with that, with those numbers. And I think it's a key integral part of our leadership here to help us out with our numbers. But financially, I think the course is in really, really good shape. And I know I'm speaking and put my accounts out on, but it is a quality of life, y'all. And this does offer a tremendous amount of services to your elderly and on to your younger people coming up. This course is a true asset to the city of Dillon and to the county of Dillon. So you need to look at it in that perspective, because if we don't, you'll lose every service you got. There won't be anything left for young or old. Now, as far as charitable services, I can speak from a positive perspective, from my experience in the past, I have been involved in this club my whole life. And I mean, it's second to none that Dillon Golf Course brings a tremendous amount of charity to our community in a lot of different ways. And I think our hats need to be tipped to them on that, because if you do away with that, where does your money come from? You could say a church, but I don't believe they can make up the difference as tremendous as the club does in what they do with charitable benefits at all.
So what did they bring in for charity events? You said at one time $500,000.
Over a long period of time, they brought in $500,000 in our community, probably over a 10-year period.
Do you have facts to prove that? We got the facts to prove that we've lost this money.
You could ask Richard Calhoun or anybody
I
in
can
their
ask
group.
anybody out here, Jay. Prove me on the facts. Bring it to me and show me. I got the facts right here.
Well, bring in your Red Cross, bring them all in, and you'll understand what
report.
they are.
Diane, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I'd like for the city, Glenn and David, to make a commitment to, if we don't get the grant within, once you find out that we put the laptops in the police cars, if we don't get the grant. Can we make that commitment?
I believe we'll be okay.
Okay. All right. I also want to make a motion, or I would like for a motion, to put on the agenda next month that we allow $50,000 to be taken out of the hospitality fund to go towards upgrading our city complex and doing things for the kids.
Can we do that with that money?
Yeah, it promotes tourism. I'll bring something back in. No, he's talking about sports complex. I'll bring something back on.
Another thing, training for the police officers. How often are our police officers able to go and get more training once they graduate from the academy?
They have certain classes that they just work out.
Are we allowing them to go back and get the training?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's some things they have to go back to. I mean, it's like continuing education. But there, I don't know if anybody we've ever said no, they couldn't go for something they wanted to go to.
Okay. That's all.
Jake?
I don't have it.
Okay.
I don't have anything. Well, I called in about mine earlier today, so hopefully we'll get that taken care of.
Well, yeah, after I hung up, I went over there, they were over there working on that.
Okay.
And we,
I talked to you about it. I never reached the person.
they were over there doing the motor grading work over there. And should be doing something this week as far as putting in some of that old asphalt that we have. Stockpile, get all that stuff on that dirt road. Again, the question was asked when we walked out, police officers have all opportunities to get additional training.
Yes, they do. The county puts out a catalog every year, and we ask them to go to look if there's any training they want to go to. All you gotta do is ask.
Good. I got one more question to ask for David. How many police cars we got in the city limits?
28.
28, we have 28 police cars, there are a couple more that we're in the process of trying to sell.
The reason I ask you that, is it mandatory for all of them to have dark tinted windows where you can't, you know, my thing about that is, if you can see me, I should be able to see you. I mean, if I got a report, just like I called you that night on a 911 call about them racing up down the street, I feel like it's right here. If I'm making that call, I need to see those officers, who's driving the car, so they can go back and give you a false report, and I can go back and say, no, this is the guy, or I can point at Johnny and say, no, Johnny was driving the car.
All the patrol cars have numbers on the side of them, and that's for that reason, so
but why all of them got to have all the tinted windows?
One reason would be if we have a victim in a armed robbery, you put your victim in the car and ride her by the suspect to identify the suspect without the victim being seen.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.